Minutes and then we'll call meeting to order.
Donna, I'm the only one that can see you, so if you don't want your camera on, you don't have to have it on.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining again, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's do this. Ready, should we go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you might.
Sounds good. All right, well, we'll go ahead and call the council meeting to order. It is 6:31, March 2nd, and we will do a roll call. Enoch? Here. Stagg?
Here.
Wernemont? Here. Klein?
Here.
And Pujol is not here as right now. All right, move on to approval of the agenda. Have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the.
Second. Do roll call vote. Stagg,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
and Wernemont.
Aye.
Moving on to approval of the consent agenda. Do we have a motion for that?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second. Do roll call vote. Wernemont.
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
And Enoch.
Aye.
Excellent. All right. Moving to public comment. So we got Donna on and Brittany. Anything from y'all, for anybody here? Okay. Awesome. All right, let's move on to the meat and potatoes here. On to the business agenda. We have line A for approval of the agreement with Swisher Youth Sports. We have a copy of in the packet,
Yes.
and this is it's a follow-up from our discussion through budget and getting basically an operating agreement in place with the nonprofits, right?
Yes. Yep. So I talked to Brittany from Swisher Youth Sports. She is online, if you have any questions for her, but I went over pretty much what this was going to have in it. And the main thing that we had talked about is like, if we were to donate any money, we need a report back on how that money was spent with receipts to make sure that, our funds are being spent appropriately. So the agreement is, has some minor changes in it from the draft one that just was a very basic layout that just makes it specific to Swisher Youth Sports. And I talked to Brittany about it and she was in support of signing it. So it's to council now for approval.
Brittany, are you guys still planning on, running all the leagues you guys did last year, all the youth sports leagues?
She may be occupied.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I can speak because that's.
Yes, we plan to do everything.
Perfect. How is that gonna work with the batting cage? Is that gonna have to be like, signed down, or is it just first come, first served to use the batting cage down there?
Might address her. She probably didn't know who you were talking to.
Brittany, did you hear that question about the batting cage? Oh, she had poor connection.
Okay,
Okay. All right, never mind.
we can just,
Yeah, I was just wondering if two different teams were wanting to use it at the same time or whatever, I don't know who's all practicing down there.
Probably have split time with it.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was like a
Whatever they
sign
have to
out
do.
thing or whatever.
So far, the hours don't overlap with the Mavericks and Swisher Youth Sports. The Mavericks are coming in after Swisher Youth Sports are done.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
long as we don't have any issues.
And does the agreement cover like equipment and stuff like that as
So
well?
all of the equipment is Swisher Youth
Yeah,
Sports.
right, yep,
But we allow them to store it in the shed. So anything that can be physically removed is theirs.
Yep.
And anything that is stationary is ours.
okay.
Preston, that shed's got a lock on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Padlock on
I have one key to it, but I don't know where any of the spares are at, by the way.
Yeah. Code. Correct, Brittany?
Say that one more time.
The shed has a code on it.
It does have a code. And I will send an email to you what the code is.
Perfect. And then the keys probably back up in case the code doesn't work for some
I
reason.
guess it may not have a key. I just have a set of keys to everything, so I just assume I just have one set to everything.
Okay.
And I just thought there was a lock on there. Never did check to see if it was a code or a key lock.
And so is this the final version? Okay.
Yes. Yep,
Yes.
ready to sign.
Thought it was just like a template.
it. We need to vote to approve it.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve, what number is that? Or
Um,
just different
It's not really a
Swisher
number on it.
Swisher Youth Sports Agreement.
Second. Do a vote, Stagg,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Ornemont,
Aye.
and Klein.
Aye.
We have approval for that. It's great.
Thanks for running that, Brittany.
Yeah, thank you, Brittany.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we'll move on to line B, resolution 09 twenty twenty-six. Approval of pay app number 13 to Dave Schmidt for the sanitary sewer project. Any questions, comments, anything before motion to approve?
And this is all but $20,000 in retainage. So there will be one more pay app after
Right.
this.
And that'll be taken care of after the walkthrough.
Is the walkthrough this spring or when?
It'll be this spring, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a date set yet that I know of.
Not yet. I haven't heard. I'll motion to approve resolution 09/2026.
Second.
Do a roll call vote, Klein.
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Ornemont,
Aye.
and Stagg.
Aye.
Okay, great. Line C, resolution 10 twenty twenty-six to appoint the fire department liaison for 2026. We have a form for that.
Yeah, so Daryl has been the fire department liaison in the past. We spoke, and he would like to pass that on to someone else. So, whoever would like to do that or has questions for Daryl?
Is it as a council member or
Yeah,
is it?
It's a
Okay.
council member, yep.
I can do that. It's just, I don't know if I'll have it all the time to make all the meetings.
Sure.
Well, they call about once a year is all. Meetings.
Yeah, oh yeah, for the budget
Yeah.
meeting. That's in June, I think, or July.
That works for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our motion?
The motion that Brian Warnema takes or be our representative to the fire department for Swisher.
Second.
Okay, do a roll call vote. Stagg,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
No, abstain.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for volunteering for that. Much appreciated. I'd say pass the torch, but that's a little bit of a pun style. All right. Moving on. Line D, resolution 11 twenty twenty-six, appoint treasurer for 2026.
This is the same treasurer we've had, and I think she's doing a good job, so.
Motion to approve resolution number 11-2026.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, Ornemont,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
and Klein.
Aye.
Think all caught up?
Yep.
All right. Line E, motion to set special meeting date for fiscal year 27 for the levy notice hearing
So I have to have this submitted to the Iowa Department of Management by the 5th,
of March.
of March,
Yeah, okay.
yep, so this week. So we just have to set a date for the hearing. My recommendation is May 30th, if it works for everyone.
Sounds good.
It can't be
Monday?
set before the 20th, so. Yep, Monday the 30th is what I would
Are we
recommend.
jumping down?
Yeah, I'd have
No,
40.
well, you probably don't have a document for it because there's no document, but it's on the agenda.
Okay,
There's no document, we just have to set a date.
all right, whatever date you want.
That way. Of March or May?
That's what I can't.
March,
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought you said May.
March
Okay,
30th.
March 30th.
There's no document, Daryl.
Okay, yeah, I heard, yeah.
Okay.
I was looking around here.
That'd be Monday, okay. After this. And it would just be for that.
It would just be
Just-
for setting, it's setting
We
the
have-
date to have a public hearing.
Yeah.
So
So
anyone,
we have to have a meeting to do the public hearing.
yes,
And this is outside of a council meeting.
Yes, it has
so
to
this
be
is gonna be a
separate.
special meeting.
yes. It has to be separate from a council meeting.
All right.
And it can't be before the 20th, so we can't do it on the 16th when we have right before that. Like normally we would do it before the council meeting.
Mhm.
We can't because we have to have it done in March. So we can't wait until the first council meeting in April is the second week in April, which would be too late.
Right.
And the 23rd or
So
the
we're
23rd
talking the
or 16th
30th
too
of
early.
March.
Yes, 30th
Okay.
of March.
Okay.
Is this the actual hearing or this is?
This is a public hearing, so
Public
anyone
hearing.
can come in and talk
Yeah.
about our property
Yeah.
taxes
Yeah.
or, be in support of or, want to make changes to.
So that date would be the actual hearing?
Yes.
Where, okay, for the.
And then after that hearing, I would submit that to the Iowa Department of Management.
Okay, and we need to have it done in March.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there any risk of waiting till the 30th?
No,
To do
no.
it, and
That's,
we just need a quorum, like we can see?
yep, we need a
Okay.
form.
And is Monday a good night for like public to be here? I mean, is there another night? I guess, what do you all think?
It'd be the same as any council meeting
Okay.
that we schedule. It's just that it's a special council
Sure.
meeting, so that information would have to get out to the public and.
And this is to approve the budget?
No, this is just a public hearing when we set our property tax rate, so people can come in and if don't want that property tax rate or have an idea of changing it or something, they can come and address council about it.
Gotcha.
So we just have to have a public hearing for it.
Yeah, it's more for the public too, to be able to come in with any concerns
Yeah.
with it. Or if they want information on it,
Yeah.
that we can relay
It'll
that.
last about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
Probably.
quick.
yeah, if nobody shows up or
Yes.
goes
Yeah.
online.
And I guess that's what I was
Formality.
asking you, I was like, do we think we would get better attendance if we had it like a different night of the week?
Bring beer, maybe I'll get some more.
Bring some beer, get a keg.
Post
Wait.
it at the Legion.
Turn that. Yeah. We're not enticing.
So I just need a motion to set the date and a second.
Okay, motion, we set special meeting for March 30th. To go through the property tax,
So let them notice here, yes.
however you state it.
Sounds good.
Second.
Second, all right. Do a roll call vote. Ornemont.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Enoch.
Hey,
And Stagg.
Right,
All right. Motion passes. Okay, anything else you need for that?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Resolution 12-2026 to appoint Donna Westmanfer to the Parks and Rec Board. Thanks for being on, Donna.
Motion to approve
You have any- Okay,
Donna for.
Second.
do roll call vote. Enoch,
hey,
Klein,
Aye.
Stagg,
aye.
sorry, caught you in a call, and Ornemont.
Aye.
Great. So, okay, that resolution passes. Donna, thank you for that. We appreciate you supporting the town and the community in that capacity.
Yes, I will send you when the meetings are, by email and, a copy of the resolution appointing you.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us or?
I do not have any questions right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Does that now complete the board?
Yeah.
As far as how many? Okay.
Full agenda. So we're all square there,
Yes.
okay? Line G, reviewing the job description and wage for public works opening. We have a couple. Have both, I think, the part-time or
We used to have a full-time
Yep.
public works laborer and then superintendent. I just gave you both, so you
Yep.
could kind of compare and talk about them.
and then we also asked Preston to join us to kind of answer any questions, give his feedback on, you know, what he sees as opportunities for the position. Been with us, what, 6 months now? Or so, or better?
Probably not even 6 months.
Okay.
I got hired in October.
Okay. Doing a great job and, yeah, wanted to we value your input and we wanted to have you here to be able to, you know, share kind of what your thoughts are as we look to get it posted.
You don't wanna go full-time, Preston?
No, I don't wanna go full time. I can't really. I coach kids jujitsu at nights. I went
Okay.
every day at 5 and I also coach at noon on Monday and Friday. So I just don't think I'd have the time to work full-time
Right.
position.
What about going, 30?
I could make 30 happen. Yeah, I
You're
could
doing
do, I could
24
do
right now?
30. Yeah, I'm at 24 right now.
And as long as we keep it under 32, it's still part-time.
Yes, and so,
Right.
So you're thinking extend his hours, but.
Well, at least for the time being, I would think, do you think you need Preston?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, just in case, especially with like snow coming down or some emergency happens or something, I
Right.
never know when I might have to get called in or something like that. Something like that might happen.
I have it for the next Monday's meeting to do a resolution to change his hours since his hours were set by resolution.
Right.
So
And if we can always decide, like, after we get a public works director hired, if Preston wants to go back down to 24, or, you know, or however, work with him on it.
Mhm.
Is there,
Or we could leave that,
Or we
those
could,
extra
yeah,
hours there and he could just put in what time he
or
can if he
or we
wants to
could
go
just
back
say up to
24.
30 and he
Yeah.
could, one week he might work 24 and one week he might work 20, you know,
Yeah.
depending on what's going on around here.
Yeah, budget wise, we're set too, because when Dylan was here, we budgeted for a full-time public works
You're right.
person, so budget wise, we're good.
do we have any caveats in there for emergency overtime based on storm?
We do have, the expectations for like, yeah, snow removal, being able to be in town within 15 minutes.
I was just thinking if we was
Yeah.
at 28 hours and you had a snowstorm come in,
Oh, for
I thought there was something when I got hired and then I saw that like 1 or 2 weeks of the year I can work over my 24 or something I saw. But
I guess I haven't seen the resolution, so
Yeah.
maybe that's something we should look at from an overtime perspective, and if
Yeah.
we're gonna be updating the resolution as is,
So we could update
maybe we could
that.
do the overtime be like at the discretion of the mayor, you know what I mean, or something.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hamstring us.
100%, yeah.
What's our plan for a snowstorm right now?
Well, Preston was doing the plowing before and we were contracting if we needed additional. So
Cause
that's,
like if we get dumped like 6, 8 inches of snow, one guy is not gonna,
we have
yeah,
you know,
two main
Yeah.
backup options, SK Property Maintenance, they're here in Swisher, and then Adams Company, so.
okay.
Adams.
I just don't wanna be stuck with Preston trying to freaking pull a 40-hour shift, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What, how you haven't worked that long, but what, as far as the equipment for snow, what are we lacking or what would be advantageous, you think, to you? Reason I ask is I know for years, and I've this stuck in my craw, that we had a 5,000 series John Deere tractor, 4-wheel drive,
yeah.
with a loader, 8-foot, disc mower on the side, rear blade,
Yeah.
and we traded it for a, excavator that sits in the shed. What do you think about the use of that? Because I've had one of those 5,000 series tractor, and there's about 90 horse.
Yeah.
And it's handy, because, you know, one thing, we didn't have much snow this year, but one time, the biggest snow we had, where the stop sign in, the snow was all piled around that stop sign, which you had no other place to take it. A couple of years ago, when it came there, I brought my tractor and I just moved it That was before all the, Plake stuff was, I just moved it over there at the time, because there were semis trying to get around that.
Yeah.
But I've always felt, and I've driven one for a lot of years, it's a handy tractor, you can do a lot of work with it, whereas that excavator, but the only thing you can do is clean out ditches.
Mhm. Unless, well, this is also I think we should start using the excavator to start doing some of our own storm sewer. Like I have a lot of experience doing storm and sewer instead of like us always hiring out when we had to fix a culvert or something like that, or maybe even fix some of these sewer lines.
Okay.
Just send out some of our public works out there to fix some of the stuff with that excavator we got, because it's a nice excavator and it just sits there all the time, so we might as well get some
Yeah, I
use
know
out
it
of
does. Is it big enough to dig down?
Yeah,
How deep
I'd
do you
say
go in that?
as long as it's no main. If we're dealing with the main, it's gonna have a problem
Yeah,
digging down that deep. Like, I don't know how deep it digs, but I'm sure it gets down at least 10 foot right now.
How wide of a bucket's on that?
We got a 18 inch, I think, and
Is
we
it
got like
18?
a 2.5 foot bucket, I wanna say. So they're pretty big sized buckets.
you can't use for snow, though, that, you really can't do much for snow there.
That's not gonna do you any good for snow.
But the only thing it's good for is the mains, if you have to dig them.
Yeah, and clean up ditches, I guess. That's all I really see us using it for right now.
And what do you think we could use it for? Like, what you think?
Doing any of our own sewer connections or any of our own fixing any of our culverts, stuff like that.
Or those are done now, we hire a contractor in to do the hookups.
I think HR Green handles a lot of that for us right now.
Almost all of them.
There's like GC, like they just get a contractor and.
So we could definitely run that by Preston first if we get have an issue, and then if he can
Is there
handle.
anything else we need that you could see that we need
Not on the snow side, no, definitely not.
on the snow side?
Mhm.
Did we get the John Deere picked up from the dealership and brought back?
Yeah, that's down in the down by the sewer plant right now in the shed down there. They said they couldn't fix it. I think it has a
Okay.
blown.
Well, head gap.
Yeah,
Did they,
That's the mowing tractor?
yeah.
not the zero turn. John Deere. Just head gasket was cost prohibitive. Cost prohibitive.
How many hours on that, do you know?
But it's
I'm
not
not
that
sure.
hard.
On that John Deere tractor?
Yeah,
I don't know. I could check though. Get back to you guys on it.
I'm just curious. Normally, they last a long time.
I'd like to do something with it though, because we got that trailer down there too, which is kind of handy just to have. It's a smaller trailer, because right now we just got that big trailer and that usually has the excavator on it. And we got that John Deere tractor sitting down there in the sewer plant. And I don't know if we can get rid of that. If we're not gonna do anything with it, I don't know if we can sell it or something, or, because I know John Deere said it was gonna be more expensive to fix that engine than it would be to it'd be the same price to buy a new one and then fix that engine is what they told us.
And just like a lawn tractor mower that you're talking about, John Deere, or is
Yeah,
that?
it's got a bucket on it and stuff. It's got like a front end loader on it and it's got a deck underneath it.
That's something that we
No little
should,
diesel, is it? Engine?
is this something we should be
Yeah, it
looking
is, yeah.
at?
It's a
Do
diesel?
you know what they used
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for?
but it's-
What do you guys use it for? Or you probably wasn't.
I wasn't here when they used it, but I think they use it to mow the ditches and stuff like that before.
Never seen that thing out here.
I don't think it gets used very often.
Well, we haven't mowed since
Been 2 years.
at least when Dylan left, we contracted out all the mowing, so.
And we're gonna be doing that in the future, correct? We've already talked about that contracting.
Yeah.
For now,
At least,
yeah, I mean.
at least for this year.
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
today.
So, okay, so that kind of makes me wonder, when we're talking about doing something with it, should we actually be looking at replacing it or not?
Cause we also got a skid loader. Like there's really no need for it in my opinion, because we got the skid loader, we got the zero turn mower, we got the excavator. I'm not sure what we're gonna need that John Deere mower for anymore now.
Okay, so maybe it's a case to where we sell it or whatever we need to
It's
do.
good.
If there is some other kind of equipment that we would possibly need, maybe it's something to where we need to see what we got for funds for equipment.
Well-
And possibly use this, if we can get something out of it, to help pay for any new equipment that we need.
What you get on some of the attachments.
Yeah, just say
What
it
is-
is one
Well, I
model.
don't doubt you're gonna get much, but
how about the equipment to install the decorations that, and then when the one puts some more on Second Street,
Yeah,
you gotta, there's a hook or fixture on that fits in the front of a 5,000 series John Deere, just, that's what they used to use with that cage.
yeah.
What do you use to get up there now? How do you get up there?
That also fits on the skid loader too. So this year I just used I did it by myself.
You got the pins?
I just used the 550. I just backed up to, I had the sander in this time and I just climbed up there and threw the decorations up this time. But if I had another person, I would be doing it with the skid loader and had a basket and someone would lift me up and take it
That'll
down.
skid loader go high enough?
Yeah,
We still have the basket from the tractor?
yeah, we still have the basket from the tractor. Yeah, I wouldn't want to sell that because that does fit on the skid loader and it is kind of handy.
What's it do, just lock in with the forks, or does it?
You can do it either way. Actually, it fits on the with the pins there.
Okay.
You can also use it with the forks too. It could fork underneath it if you wanted to, but I always just with the pins.
Yeah,
Pins are pretty quick, just.
Yeah.
Based on what the equipment we have now, Preston, and like future, like what do you see, like for your skill set and then the skill set of the superintendent, right? Or whatever we end up doing with this role, like what would you see needing that skill set to look like for that person?
Someone that knows a little bit about sewer connections, someone that can do carpentry work, someone that can probably, they don't, not a must, but probably be able to drive a truck and trailer, obviously, like maybe have a CDL. I got my CDL, so it's not a huge
Yeah.
deal, but maybe at least a class B would be nice.
yeah, cause you probably need the CDL even to pull that trailer with that weight on it, wouldn't you?
No,
No, unless it's a gooseneck.
we're gonna be over 24,000 pounds.
If you haul it with the F550 probably, which I'm probably gonna be doing with the excavator. Right now, we're hauling it with that white truck and that's super hard in that truck. It's already, that transmission's already having a little bit of problems with it and it's only got 27,000 miles on it. And I think it's because they were hauling it around with the excavator hooked to that thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. to
Yeah,
pull
it
with
is.
that.
It barely moves it, so.
Really?
Yeah,
CDL requirement's over 24,000 pounds total weight, so.
and I haven't checked. I don't know what either one weighs. I know that F550 weighs a decent amount though. You won't need anything unless you're hauling fully loaded with the F550 and the excavator though. Everything else should be under 25,000.
The trailer's only rated for 10,000, so we should be well within our
Okay.
guidelines.
Maybe we should, validate that if we. Do you think a seat, like possibly at least a class B CDL would be?
It's not a huge,
Just,
it's not a huge deal.
well,
but-
it removes risk of,
Yeah.
right, like getting a ticket or, you know what I mean, if someone's
We should
hauling.
Well, we could always like even not even have that as like a prerequisite, but make them go get a class B after they get hired.
Sure.
I mean, that's what we do, like up at Newell, like our utility guys have to go get even if we hire them without one,
Do
they,
you pay for the class?
I
they have within like 6 months, they've gotta get one.
I think with, the applications that would be filled out for that superintendent position, they should give us the list of whatever they have required, what they have for licenses and that kind of stuff.
Well, they will, I mean.
And at that time, when we go through it, if there's something that we deem is missing off that list, that may have that may give us a case of pause before we'd hire that person.
Mike, do you happen to remember the last time when we hired, you would have been the only one on council, then when we hired Justin, do you remember how many, applications we actually got?
I could look, cause we have.
I really couldn't tell you, Kurt.
Cause I'm just wondering like how hard this position is gonna be to fill.
There was one time where we were hiring a superintendent here that we had a whole bunch of applications and they were from all over the place.
Just have
I
that.
think that's when you guys hired Carl
Hmm?
though. I think that's when you guys hired Carl.
It could have been, I'm not sure of that. Probably be best to have Mallory kind of look at past records and see what we had. All I know is it's kind of all over the map, just like any other position where you try to hire.
Mhm.
And
The
What do
point I'm trying to get at is I don't want I don't want us to wait. I don't want us to stall on getting somebody hired. I mean, if we're gonna
No, I'm
go
not
with,
saying.
go with the first, I mean, if we say we're gonna list it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever on the thing, we pick the best 5 and that's where we go with. And I'm just saying, we don't wanna keep waiting around.
But you wanna get somebody that's qualified to do the position.
Well, obviously, that's
I
the
mean,
goal of
I
any.
mean, it's not where you're gonna hire some, yeah. I mean, you wanna have somebody that's pretty much up to stuff.
Yeah.
We've done that too, and we haven't had any luck, so.
How soon do y'all think we would need to have someone in place? Like, just, right, I mean, I know there's a lot of different factors, but
Preston, what's your
Yeah.
workload coming up? I mean, if we actually farm out the mowing, how much is your workload gonna increase in the spring?
I don't think it's gonna increase that much, honestly. I don't know.
Cause like mowing is like probably the summertime, it's probably 50% of the job.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we're gonna, like, that's why I'm kind of proposing that we start doing some of our own sewer and storm connections, just because, like, I don't really see a scenario where I'm gonna have to work over 30 hours in the first place ever,
Yeah.
even as part-time. So,
See, that's
especially without doing the mowing now.
right. But with me, I've been in this town a long time, and I mean, if you think about it, like our city works director or city public works director, whatever it's called, that job. In the past, you have to remember, they did all the mowing, so if we're taking away the mowing, that's a lot of hours. In the past, they did the sewer plant, which we don't do anymore, Ion does all that. That took away a lot of hours too.
Cause a while
So-
back, we contracted that out.
What's that?
A while back, we contracted.
Exactly,
that out.
but I'm
The
saying
problem- The problem we had history wise, trying to hire somebody to run the sewer plant, you had to have a certain grade
Yeah, I know, yeah,
for that position, and we could not hire somebody that was of that grade because the city could not afford it.
well, that's, yeah.
So a lot of times we had people in here yeah, doing things that we had to hire somebody else in order to approve whatever testing was being done down there.
Well, the point I'm trying to get at is, I don't know how we're gonna justify how. And Preston might disagree with me on this, I don't know, but 70 hours a week out of somebody, or if you count a full-time guy, 40, and they say we go up to 30. I don't know if there's 70 hours worth of work for the public works right now.
I think it depends on what. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball to look into the future, but it depends on what other problems we may have around Swisher. You know, that needs to be addressed. You know, like like we had the sewer line problems over here, or sewer line problems over here, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but our.
To where initially, your superintendent of public works is gonna be involved with looking into that, working with engineering, trying to figure out what the next steps are for those things, so they can report to the council to let us know what needs to be done. We need somebody in here that's got that kind of education that can work with those kind of things. And to work alongside our engineering staff.
what does that look like? Like, what, like, when you say has that kind of education, like, what do you guys envision that? Like, what's that look like? Certifications? Is it prior?
I think it's
Just-
prior experience, you know, and yes, some certifications, you know, on what kind of educational background they have. I mean, right off the top of my head, I can't think of everything,
Yeah, that's fine.
but I mean, once you start getting applications and stuff and you start going through them, you're gonna know from one to the next, well, this person is more a better qualified person for that position than this one. It's like any other job you're trying to fill.
Mhm.
But I think for us to try and sit and say, well, because of like certain hours, we're giving you 30 hours and we don't see another 40 hours being added to that, I kind of question that, because to me, yeah, we're gonna contract out for mowing. I'd like to have another thing done this year, whatever we're spending for that. And I would like to kind of go back and see what it cost us without contracting for these things, because I want to do a comparison. cost versus in-house doing stuff. And the reason I'm saying that is I wanna know that this city isn't spending a ton more money to contract everything out versus having our own person in place to do a lot of this work.
Well, I think you already know the answer to that, Mike. I think you already know that. if
I
we have
know,
the
but
right city- if
the
we have
reason
right-
I wanna
if we
do
have
this,
the right city worker in
the
here,
reason
we
I
won't
wanna
be able to
do this
justify
is
farming
because
another
I
mower.
want you to be able to see those hard figures and see exactly what
I
it's
know
costing.
right now, if we have the right city worker in there, I know how good a worker Preston is. If we have the right city worker at City Public Works in there, we would not need to farm out the mowing.
Okay, well then maybe we need to hire the right person in that job. But I'm saying right now, you've already advocated to farm this out.
You know why we're farming it out.
Well, I think what we're talking about is we're talking about like immediate term and long term, right? Like we're talking about like, what do we do over the next 3 months or 4 months, right? And then what happens over the next 6 months to 5 years as we look at, right, the development, we look at all the different
Well,
needs.
My,
Yeah, what does that look
right,
like?
but my thoughts are, is if we hire a superintendent of public works, a new one, and this guy or gal or whoever it may be is acclimated to the job well enough and
Mhm.
knows what they're doing, and they can do the job the way they're supposed to do the job, then we have no need to be contracting out for everything.
Sure. I mean,
And that's where I'm
right?
coming from, is I don't see us spending all this money contracting everything out.
So, Preston, in your opinion, I know you didn't go through a mowing season here, did you at all? You got tail end probably, or not much of it. did you?
Exactly, but season all.
It's probably a question you can't answer, but can you give us an estimate how many hours you think it would take to mow? You know, acre wise, I know that there's a lot of messing around and small stuff, but acre wise, there's not that much mowing.
I bet it'd take 10 to 15 hours, like on the actual mower,
For
on the
one,
actual mowing time of sitting on the mower.
for one
I've
mowing.
Yeah, for like in a week. In a week, I bet you're sitting on that mower for about 10 to 15 hours, I bet.
So that's, I have to agree with you because
I
that,
agree too, because when Ace did it, they had 2 mowers and it took them 1 day,
yeah,
so.
and I agree with you, Kurt.
Mhm.
If we get somebody that wants to mow and wants to work, I don't think, because,
Yeah,
you know, you get away from the mowing season and we're farmed out the sewer plant. And there won't be any mowing to do, and like
Well,
this year, we don't have that
the
much,
only bigger thing we'd have is snow removal.
and you know,
Yeah.
some years we'll have, but this year we could have another big one, but,
Yeah,
yeah, my point is once we get a good public works or guy hired, we should not have to sub out the mowing.
because I tell you, you know,
We're only farming out that mowing just because of what we went through last year.
because I tell you, if we get a good worker,
Yeah.
he's gonna be bored stiff if he's got set with his thumb up.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
and
that's true.
if
Yeah.
we got a good worker and a good part-time worker, I don't think we need to farm any of that stuff.
I don't either. The only reason we're in this situation is because of last summer.
Exactly, and I
It's
agree
not
with you
because of
100%.
anything in the past, because the mowing was always kept up.
But
Wow.
the little time I seen, Preston on, I've seen him working all
Yeah,
the time,
exactly, me
which
too.
is
And I've heard.
quite a sight for me, to be honest with you.
Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, I've heard all good things from it, but, sorry.
It was, the discussion was to figure out what we needed to add to the list for what we needed to do to get a new good person in here, not discuss the hours and stuff. So
Right.
let's get moving with the topic.
Sure.
I mean, I feel
First, I got one
I
question.
feel like the hours is part of it though, because, you know, if we're not gonna hire someone full-time, that does affect like the
Yeah.
job description and stuff, so.
Is it possible for you guys to put out 2 different applications, maybe a part-time and a full-time, and see who kind of applies for either one?
I'd rather not do that myself. I think it should be a full-time position, not a part-time.
But he's talking about having both, aren't you?
But like, because then you could adjust how you guys want to go about on what you want to hire out then or not. Because if you got a bunch of full-time guys that are really qualified, you could hire one of those full-time guys. But then if you did get the applications you wanted, or the people you apply for those full-time position, you could look at hiring another full part-time and continue hiring out all this stuff in Swisher.
To be like a temporary thing, kind of
Yeah.
like an interim thing
Uh-huh.
or something. So
Well, they wouldn't have
everybody
been
goes
near-
in.
Wouldn't be near as qualified either, just for, for mowing stuff and, menial
I
work.
see what you're talking about.
You get what I'm saying? But like, if you guys wanted to keep hiring this stuff out, you probably didn't really need a full-time then. But if you want to kind of go back to doing it stuff in-house, it makes sense to make a full-time position then.
In maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And requiring certifications, you gotta look at wage too. I mean, I get stuff on the clerk now all the time that Public Works, they range from $25 to $55 an
Right.
hour. So if you want certification, you're gonna have to. move up
Why,
there.
one thing, if you're putting down some of the qualifications for, and some of that stuff's gotta be heavy equipment operators, you're talking.
Yeah.
You're paying buku money for heavy equipment operators.
So, what if we think about it this way? Is there anything, I think Preston has a good idea. Do we want to look at like, a job description of a full-time, here's everything we would want, here's what it would look like, right? Like mowing, sewer, et cetera. And then have a part-time, and then we have both of those, and then we could even come back in a week. I mean, again, it depends on how quickly we want to move, right? Like, if we want to move in a month, we probably got to get going in the next, right, week at most. If we're good, easing into the springtime season, maybe we talk about the RFP being like month to month. I don't know how we could do that, but maybe there's a way we could kind of push that into summer. It could give us a couple weeks to like align on what we want to do from a description perspective, and then kind of that next step. Cause I think we all agree Preston can handle what we've got currently, right? Like, as we're going into the next phase, but I guess it just kind of depends on how thorough and what we want to do now laid over the long term. So I don't know how we want to motion that, but
I guess, I'm trying, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if we're gonna do two types of it, basically it's two different jobs. One would be part-time, one's gonna be full-time.
you'd have to, yeah.
So if we're gonna do that, maybe that part-time is for like 6 months.
Right.
So the full-time job won't even be listed until towards this fall.
Why can't we get
I
a
don't-
high school kid to do that?
But I don't think you
More
put
stuff.
both out there at the
They're always
same
looking for a
time.
job.
We're missing the point. We need somebody that can handle the interactions with the engineering director.
Right.
The town.
Just-
How about-
With-
how about part-time
Yeah, there's a
summer
lot
job?
more involved than just mowing or,
Yeah, that's the big thing. You guys want a full-time, you need someone that's gonna be able to.
I'm talking about part-time, just
Yeah.
for the summer kid to mow along.
I would feel more comfortable with a full-time.
Well, and I'd have to
Yeah,
look at
that's
like
my
insurance and age, because if they're using our mowers, like, I feel like having someone that's under 18 might be a liability.
Probably a huge liability.
But I just did the math, so if you did hire a part-time person, the $900 insurance stipend, they wouldn't get that. So you could add another $563 onto the wage, and we budgeted for 30/22, July 1st. So you could go up to almost $36 an hour for a part-time person, because you wouldn't have to pay that, insurance stipend per month.
Cause like, I guess, yeah, you do bring up a good point. Good points brought up is that what we and what the community, right, expect from a public works superintendent interacting, right, like responsiveness. And again, you're doing a great job of it now, is like in this interim piece, right? But like, what does that look like long term, right? Would a part-time person be that?
Why don't we just list it for a full-time and see what we get for applications?
I think it's better to do the full.
And are there any cause part of what we wanted to align on, right, is the job description. Is there anything that we want to materially change? I mean, we've got a lot of good points here around like the sewer hookups, and we can integrate that in. Do we wanna come back next week and have like a kind of an updated description and have that on the agenda to motion to public, like post?
I think we just go with what we got right now.
Okay.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
looked through all of this and it's already got due sewer locates and sure right away. I mean, it's got everything in there that we're,
Here's the only thing I'm gonna throw out. If we hire somebody and they don't have, right now Preston's doing our sewer permits. He can do sewer repairs, he can do heavy equipment, he has a CDL. So if we hire a full-time person that isn't as qualified as Preston and he's making $20 an hour. You know, I'm just throwing that out there in support of Preston, but like, that's just hard to justify in my mind.
But that's kind of like if, what we're talking here, once we get the applications coming in.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to see what qualifications they got. And what besides those qualifications like that you have now, beyond that. Cause we're gonna be looking for somebody that can do more than what you just stated.
Yeah.
So,
So we can add, I don't know that we really need to change the verbiage. And Kurt, I know you've got experience with this as well, but we could do like the like basic qualifications, right? Which would be like the minimum education experience. And then we could have a section that's what would put you ahead, right? Like what would be that, so we can,
right.
it wouldn't eliminate people from, applying, but then we would have that ability to be able to tie, you know what I mean? Tie those
Yeah.
other skills and those other accreditations.
Have them expand on what their qualifications are to
Mhm.
tell us what would make them a better candidate for the position.
So we could add that
And we might get more information that way, help us make a decision.
who knows, we might only get 2 applications. We don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I think it might be harder to hire for like a part, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think like that one.
you're not
year
gonna find
you
it
were-
impressed.
That one year you were asking me about how many we had, I don't think we're gonna ever get that many applications like we had that one year. I mean, I couldn't believe all the applications we were getting from, it was all over. A lot of municipalities all over the place were applying,
Yeah,
and it was like,
and then the big caveat too for the applications is having to be able to live within 20 minutes of here. Or be within 20 minutes. You can't be expecting somebody to drive from, Brooklyn, Iowa.
right,
Yeah.
that's been a tough one too.
About farthest people can live basically is Solon, North Liberty or something like that. That's 15-20 minutes from here.
Same as Hiawatha.
Preston, why don't you work full-time? I think.
I-
Probably what we got.
He walks in this office, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Cause keep in mind, you get what you pay for.
that's the fine, that's the balance. So do we, and we will post this through what, like, do we need to add any of that of where we post it, or we just use our typical channels like Indeed or like?
I mean, it depends on what you guys want to do. I will tell you that when we posted the city clerk and the public works jobs, we are way over budget for publications this year because of those 2 postings.
Okay.
And we didn't get any quality things from when we posted on Indeed. It was just a mess. It was a lot of just automated.
Yeah.
I would not recommend doing that again. I think Corridor Careers is a good local
Okay.
thing to use. And it wasn't cheap either, but I feel like we got more quality things because you can't just auto bot
You
things.
talking about the clerk
The
that you applied for?
clerk and public works.
Yeah.
When we did Preston's job,
Okay,
both of those, we just got like a mess of
the
things.
clerk had, how many hundreds of applications? We had a ton of them.
Mhm. So I think using more local resources for that would be better, because Indeed, we didn't get anything quality from that.
And I think too,
And it was like $800, like it was not cheap.
we're looking, like you said, we're looking for somebody that's more local.
Mhm.
They wouldn't have that far to go. And
So what I would propose us, like, before we motion, we'll update the we'll keep the description, you know, as it is. I think we'll maybe change up some of the verbiage on just like the basic qualifications, so that way that's what like people have to have in order to to apply. And then we can kind of, yeah, rearrange the back part of it, but we won't change anything materially. But we'll include like the CDL, right? And then if we don't have that as a basic qualification, that means we could also have someone that could get it while they're employed with us, right? So,
Yeah.
And then from a wage perspective, do you have the range? Or do we just,
2920 is what we had budgeted for this fiscal year. 3022 is what we had budgeted for fiscal year 27. So between there somewhere.
do we want to range it like 25 to 30, 22, or like, what, I guess, what do you guys think? And we can move from that. You want to do a range or do you want to do like a specific?
I would do a range.
Yeah, do a
You're
range.
gonna,
It's a
you're gonna
better-
want a range, because if you get
Right,
somebody that's not that qualified, but it's the most qualified we get, you don't wanna start them off at top.
I think the range is better.
Go from like 25 to 31 or so, I don't know, something like.
We can keep it within the budget of what we've.
Yeah,
Due,
budgeted for
due
next
to
year.
experience and
Yeah.
qualifications, yeah.
I don't wanna step outside of that, what we've got budgeted. I mean, we got ourselves in a pickle on this before.
Sure.
And I'm not doing that again.
Well, and we've got the contract, the lawn mowing contract coming up, right? I mean,
Right.
it's gonna be on top of everything, so yeah. Okay. All right,
Do we need to have on where it says, I was just reading, minimum education, do we really need to have at least 2 years of additional training from an accredited junior or technical school program? Because there's a lot of good workers out there that do not have that. There's guys that are 40, 50 years old that have been doing it for 25 years and they don't got a technical.
I would say, or experience.
It already says that. It says
Does it
at
say
least 2 years experience in public works or infrastructure concerning roads and steward. I'm just saying, yeah.
I would think that kind of gives you a broad, you know, for as far as experience goes. Kind of makes up for not having that school or whatever.
But I'm just saying, if we keep that in there, that might deter some people from applying that don't have that 2
Yeah.
years of additional training from.
that, I would agree with Kurt, and I don't vote on it, but like, I would agree that should go into the, like, additional skills and qualifications, not the.
Not the minimum
Yeah.
education, experience and certification. I just think there's a lot of really people that could probably fill this job that don't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, experience as well is worth way more than the training or their accredited junior college thing.
To, how do we want to motion this?
Well, I don't need a motion if you want me to bring it back to council as a final draft.
To get one final draft, or do we want, like, we would have it by Monday? Or do you wanna say, make changes we discussed today and then?
Let's
be ready to
bring,
go?
let's go ahead and make changes and then bring it to the next meeting and we'll go from there.
Preston, you don't see a urgent need for us to get somebody hired within like the next month or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, the only thing could come up is a snowstorm.
Yeah, that's
The only thing
right.
that I have a hard time believing we're gonna get something.
Right, even if we do, I
It'd
mean,
be a
it's
one-time thing. It'd be like, oh,
yeah,
maybe one more big snowstorm is all we're gonna have.
yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna see
Yeah,
that.
I don't think we're gonna have that even.
Do you think all the things that a public works superintendent would do could be done in 30 hours a week?
Not if we want him to work with like engineers, how they should, like the way that they should. They should like Mike said, like they should be working alongside the engineers, kind of going through engineer plans,
Yep.
new developments, like they should be part of that. Plus doing some of that mowing stuff and sewer connections and stuff like that, then I think it justifies for a 70-hour job.
So maybe we should look, cause that'd be kind of almost like, I think we talked about, like, it'd almost be like city manager a bit too, right? Like having
Yeah.
that same type, I mean, not, right, but I don't know if we would. It would make sense to add that into like at all, or if we're over, kind of getting. over
I think with the title of superintendent of public works, basically justifies everything that they should be doing. I
Right.
mean, when you're a superintendent or something, that's a lot of.
That will be hard to find though, I will say that.
Yes.
Someone that you guys are, the perfect guy like that is gonna be tough to find.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of city guys out there, but I've never seen one hop on a mower too.
It already says in here, provide assistance to city engineer,
Okay,
so.
okay, cool, all right.
And that could encompass a whole lot of things.
Well, not, I mean, yeah, we don't have to be like overly prescriptive, right? But I think we wanna be aligned on what the vision and the direction is. To CL's point, we wanna, and then-
Yeah, honestly, it should just be like what it's always been. I mean,
Yeah.
their duties aren't changing.
No.
We've always
No,
expected that of our public works superintendent,
Right. It's the same as.
whether it was getting done or not. That was already part of our qualification or our job descriptions.
So we don't need a vote or anything, we'll bring it
Nope,
back
I'll
next
bring it
week and then we'll finalize it, okay?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate you on being a part of that. Very valuable. And thanks for the discussion, everybody. Okay, so we're ready to move on to agenda item line H. The discussion and possible action to authorize the issuing of the RFP for lawn mowing and lawn chemical application services.
These are the same as last year, just with the dates changed. Last year we had them start like the second week in March. I had to push that off to April 1st.
For
Because
chemicals
for
and
date.
mowing or just, okay.
For both, yeah, just because of the time frame, we have to have so much time to put it out for bid and get bids back and then make a decision, so.
Do we need a motion or we're just gonna go?
If you want any changes,
Just go with the chemical lawn application for sure. Just the same as we did last year. We don't have any extra areas, do we?
Not yet.
no. Mm-mm.
We could always-
No, the list is on there, from last year. For mowing and, lawn chemical services, so.
Does this have like a, end date or like a duration anywhere? I didn't see that anywhere. Like, is it expected just for the whole season or is that?
Yeah, so it's, the mowing is different.
Start date, April 1st. Doesn't give an end date,
Yes.
I don't think.
Yeah, because I'm not suggesting that we want to be able to like pull the rug out and write someone that's dedicating time, but if we do get someone hired, right, and like at some point later in the season, I just do we keep it this way or do we want to, have it or I guess maybe add clarity on that it could potentially not be the whole season. But I don't know what you guys think. That's just a comment I had when I was looking through it.
And if we get the bids back on the mowing and we deem it out of our, basically our budget,
Mhm.
we can always, we don't have to go with this, right?
Yeah, no,
All we're doing now is just putting out the bids to.
Yeah.
Getting bids for it, yeah.
Yeah. And then we'd have we would obviously put it in the contract. Okay.
Yeah. I'm all good with all of it.
Any other thoughts or comments on it before we put it to motion?
Can I throw in a suggestion, like if you're just doing bids? Ben, he has a Heroes Lawn Care up in Marion. He's certified in a lot of different turf and irrigation and a bunch of other things like that. He's not that bad as far as pricing. He also really does care about the lawn and the services that he provides. He's pretty reasonable as far as fertilizers and his rates.
Okay.
So I didn't know if I could put in a suggestion.
yeah, I mean, if you let him know when the bids get put out, they'll get put on our Facebook, they'll get put on our website and everything, and definitely have him bid on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, my guess is the lawn mowing and the treatments and everything else, you're gonna get bids from multiple vendors, so.
Yeah, Pure Green has reached out to me a couple times. Ace Lawn Care has reached out to me as well.
Yeah,
I've gotten a couple other calls about lawn care, not chemical services, but lawn care specifically.
A holiday from a Grant Wilson mowing or
Yeah.
something.
Thanks for that. Any
Now,
other-
now on these bids for the mowing, do they need to be like licensed and everything, or we're not like,
Have to be insured.
Yeah, they have to be licensed and
okay,
insured.
yeah, we can't
Yeah.
just have like, say, Daryl Haney decided to, I introduced Daryl's name for.
dig your mower out, go.
To
On that deer.
right.
It's full of
You
gas, there
see
you
them
go.
coming,
No, I mean, we have a volunteer waiver if somebody wanted to volunteer their services to mow. They
That's what I'm
could
asking
sign them.
Daryl.
Daryl, you need something to do, you want to volunteer to mow?
Mike said he did, so.
he needs a tractor though.
You need a tractor, right? 'Cause I know what you can do with a tractor. I had one for 30-some years.
I know last year, I think was it Adam Hoffman, maybe he lives across from Chopstick Park, that he had said something about volunteering to mow the park. But I don't know about the rest of the town or the ditches as
Yeah.
I mean, up
Okay.
on
Yeah.
the both.
I just wanted to make sure that we had to have.
Yeah.
A contractor.
Yes,
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
so,
Any other? Oh, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead. So we do need a motion, to put that out to bid, in a second.
both of them out for
Yeah.
bids.
Motion to
Yes.
put lawn chemical and lawn mowing out for bids.
Second.
Roll call vote, Wintermont.
Aye.
Stag,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch.
Hey,
Wasn't very enthusiastic.
What the heck is John Deere?
All right. Moving on to, line I, reviewing bids for the roll door on the concession stand.
Oh,
So Parks did, at their meeting, they approved the $4,361 bid from Dan's overhead door.
Okay.
I got a comparison bid, with the exact same everything, just to see, for the pricing, since it was quite high. Potentially, if they submitted an application to the community foundation, board, then they could potentially get like $1,600 off of that if that was approved, but
From Dan's.
from either
Either
one.
one, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I mean, ultimately, it's up to council what you wanna pay for it.
Motion to take the proposal of overhead door.
that was cheaper one.
That's the $400 cheaper one.
Mhm.
Unless somebody knows something.
I just don't
Now,
have a warrant
Parks-
about that money.
So Parks does have enough money, with the donations from the golf outing and stuff to cover this. It'd just be a budget amendment, because we didn't plan on doing this year, so.
The 3,980.
Yep. Which could be 2,380 if they do get the foundation grant.
Is that, how sure is the foundation grant, do you know?
They have to submit an application, and then the board reviews it. As far as I know from their last meeting, they didn't have any other applications for anything.
Sure.
But I don't know what their plans are for that money, so.
Can we,
Is this gonna be one of them deals where we're waiting 3 months to get a gallon of paint?
Possible.
No, I mean, it should get done pretty quickly. I think he said the bid was good for 30 days or something when I got this, bid from Overhead Door. So,
Second Kurt's motion.
can you find out if they're gonna submit an application then for that
yes, I can.
grant or whatever?
I did ask about it and they did plan on using those funds, but I also asked if they had submitted an application and they weren't sure. So I'm guessing no.
We need to know.
Yes. Either way, they do have the money to cover it,
Okay,
even without grant. Like grant.
So we have a motion and a second.
I just have a motion of Klein, who was the second.
I second.
Okay,
and this is for the bid as it is, not.
the
Not
3,000,
with them submitting.
Yes, 3,980 from overhead door.
Okay.
with, okay.
Out of their budget.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do a roll call vote. Warnemont.
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
and Enoch.
Aye.
Let's hope they submit the request for funds.
Yes, I will
Yeah.
follow up on that. Okay,
Forego that opportunity to save that money, so, okay, line J, resolution 13-2026. Transfer of funds, and this was the budget, right?
so this has a few different transfers on it all at once. So as we had talked about during our budget meeting, the local option sales tax, and our property taxes and how we were going to provide property tax relief. The best way that I have found to do that is doing a transfer. Our general fund is low because this was not completed. So we need to transfer $100,000 from local option sales tax to our general fund, basically because the things we have already funded this year have brought our general fund down, where we would have had to levy debt service on property taxes to then pay for those things to be done. So we're basically replenishing our general fund in the form of local option sales tax. Using
And that's how it should have been done in the first place, right?
no,
No.
but this is how we're fixing it.
This is kind of a workaround.
Yes, we should have used this money to pay for our debt service rather than levying it on our property taxes. So this is a way to also provide property tax relief by not taking out more debt service.
Okay, I'll put forth resolution 13-2026 for approval.
The other part of this is that, that economic development revolving loan, it's moving the money into that back up to $30,000. Those funds that were spent out of there, that were spent out of the wrong fund, we're replenishing that from our general fund and then disbanding that program. So now that money will be available for, the interior of the ball diamond, which we plan to use those funds from the budget meeting. And then, the additional, I can't remember what the other project is, but we had a plan for the other money as well.
Yep.
So yeah.
So we're
Oh, the decorations, sorry,
Yes.
and that you did approve in the consent agenda for tonight, that estimate for the decorations, and we did get 30% off those by ordering them. So yeah.
cool.
So this is basically Mallory doing a shelving.
Yes, shuffling everything around to make everything right again.
I'll second it. If Mike, you
Mike motion.
motion, I'll second it.
Roll call vote. Warnemont.
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
and Stagg.
Yeah,
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Line K, resolution 14-2026 to increase petty cash amount for the library.
Yes, the library made this request because they're paying for cleaning services. They have someone that comes in and vacuums once a week and they give them $10 in cash every week. So it made their petty cash expenses go up $40 a month. So they just asked for an increase on their petty cash. They use theirs a lot more than I do.
Motion to approve resolution number 14-2026.
Second. I will call vote. Warnemont. Stagg,
aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
and Klein.
Aye.
Okay. We've got two, let me get to the right agenda here. Okay, resolution 15-2026. It's a resolution in support of an application for scholarship to Municipal Academy.
So we have this budgeted already in in City Hall budget for training for me, to attend a conference. There is a scholarship available. And because I'm a new clerk, I would like to do more training. I've used some of my budget for training and mentorship. This is actually required by this scholarship for me to apply. I have to have this from council before I can apply. The whole thing is already budgeted for me, so this would just free up funds for me to do additional training this year.
Got a question on this.
Yes.
Am I reading this right where, there's with the scholarship and then apparently if you complete how long is one summer or how
It's
many?
1 week.
One
It's,
week is all, just a
yep,
week deal?
it's the Iowa Municipal, Academy, and this is actually their resolution that they give me to provide to council to apply for the scholarship.
Well, can I look at this right, that we first pay for the scholarship, we furnish the college scholarship, then we're reimbursed if you complete it, is that, am I looking at
Yeah,
that right?
so basically, we pay for it and then I have to complete it to the city to be reimbursed.
So it's not costing us anything, but well, if I read that.
Just upfront.
Yeah.
It's not, but they don't cover like my mileage driving there because it's in Ankeny, I believe. So I'd have to drive there, the city would have to pay mileage, so you have to commit to paying my mileage, which is already budgeted for.
That's no big deal, I
Yeah.
just read that, a little confusing, why we pay the money up front and then they give it back to us.
Yeah, it's because I have to complete it.
Well, you'd do
So-
that anyway.
Yes, I would.
Motion, we-
Is it a, real quick, is it a whole week that you'll be gone though?
I believe it's 3 days. And yes, and I would line up with Len to be here while I'm gone.
Okay.
And I'd have to drive there and I would drive back. I wouldn't stay in a hotel, I don't believe.
Right.
It wouldn't be worth it for, an hour.
There and back.
Hour and a half thing.
Yeah.
Just take the camper with you.
I could actually, I can pull the pop up.
motion to approve resolution number 15-2026.
Second.
Roll call vote, Stagg,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Wornamont, and Klein.
Aye.
All right.
Excuse me.
Last is M, approval of application for AARP grant and city commitment to cover additional costs.
So this is the AARP grant is a grant that covers a flagship, something permanent that stays in your community that can be used. It's used by people that are older than 50, because that's AARP. But it can also be used by the entire community. So this is something that I've been looking at. I don't believe, I did send this to Parks. I don't believe they applied for anything. So I put together a grant for doing a pavilion at this playground because it wasn't in our budget this year or next year. But so if we don't get the grant, we don't do it. And if we do get the grant, it's $15,000 towards putting a pavilion here. Our bid for the pavilion at the other park was 25,000, but this one, that's a big pavilion. This one could be much smaller. And so basically if they did provide us with the $15,000, if we won the grant, the city would just have to pay the difference of above the 15 grand for the pavilion. I did talk to the library, because they want to see support from your community. She did say that she would write a letter in support of the pavilion. I'm gonna reach out to the farmers market because they obviously would use it for their music. And then I also talked to the Wheelos and they did offer to donate labor and flowers to do landscaping around it. Because they do ask, like I said, for community support. So the Wheelos is also providing me with a letter for that if we do approve this.
This is not an enclosed pavilion though.
No, it's just
Basically like a gazebo. A big-
Yeah.
Like in that
something.
sense, like a big gazebo.
Yeah, like 4 picnic tables, like just something that has like, we already have the picnic tables and everything, so it's just putting the structure up. And then it's just a smaller version of what's at the other park.
Well, the concrete's gonna cost you a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why,
That'll be the high cost.
yeah, so what I put in there for like numbers was 25,000, but that's because that one's so big but doesn't have concrete, where this one would be smaller but does have concrete, but I would get like actual bids for it, which I can have Frank come up and do a bid pretty quick for
Mhm.
concrete. So that is my plan. And council obviously would, I would need support of council to submit it and everything.
But if we did not get the $15,000 grant, we would not do it.
No,
Because
no,
we're not gonna cover.
if
not-
only if we get the
We're not
grant,
say this
the only,
gazebo is gonna be $30,000 or something. We're not gonna.
Right, we're not obligated to do anything, but we don't have anything in the budget for that right now.
we don't, but we do have the funds to cover it. We do have enough left over in local option sales tax. And a few $1,000s left over from the economic development loan. So we do have the funds. It would just be, if we get this, we commit the funds to that, which I could then do a budget amendment for.
What size is this gonna be?
That size your house.
Huh?
Yes. I don't have it measured out or anything. I haven't gotten numbers for how much.
$15,000 doesn't buy you much. I guess,
No, we're gonna have some cost in it.
We'll have.
well,
costs
I know
again.
we have, how much are we gonna hit? They,
Um,
you know, But then we have to apply for all this, looks like, and, but the site prep starts by July.
Those are just tentative. I just filled that out to kind of to put tentative things in there. It has to be completed by December 31st.
I see that.
Yep. So that can all change. It's just like I just pre-filled everything to give you an idea of what it like asked for and everything.
So what are we,
Or is this gonna take more money to us to do HR Green to do engineering for this building then too?
They shouldn't have to do any engineering for this. It should just be a construction company giving us an estimate.
Okay,
So,
because that starts getting pricey too.
nope, it shouldn't. It would just be the concrete. It's not, it doesn't have to have like, frost footings for a building or anything like that. So it would just be very similar.
Slab
Mhm.
and then.
And a pavilion, and it would have, some electrical in it too. If we didn't do electrical, that would save us a lot of cost. Because in the one we're doing up there, they're replacing all the electrical. So potentially it could cost a lot less if there was no electrical in it at all.
What's the estimate for the one up at Castic?
It was 25, just under 25.
Okay.
That's no concrete
No concrete, but
No
it's also
concrete. Okay.
a much larger.
and it's tear down.
Yeah, and tear down, where this one would have tear down or removal.
I think Gromas only had like $1,500.
Yeah.
to tear down or something like that. Well,
My thoughts are, I mean, it makes sense, maybe go ahead and do this. And if we do get this grant, then at that time we can look at, okay, now we got this money coming in. Let's see what we can do to do it over here.
Mhm.
With that being said, one of the groups you could reach out to too is Men's Club
Yes.
and see if they'd help donate
Mhm.
something for it.
Mallory, do you know, like, say like we apply for this grant or this and we get it?
Yeah.
What if we decide not to do it? Are
We can withdraw.
we can withdraw?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no penalty for, we only get 15 and we probably got to prove that we're doing it.
Yes, and then they asked for like an after report showing that it's being used, which would be so easy because the farmer's market
Right.
will use it.
Yeah.
If we do it pretty early in the year, if this would get awarded in May. So we could start anytime. It just I have to have that final report in by December
So
31st.
how's this tie into the AARP though?
Because it would be, it provides like beautification to a park, a sitting area for older individuals. They can do their book club from the library there. The farmer's market is also a lot of times older individuals selling things. So I put a lot of that into the application.
Grandparents sitting there.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like that we have to have like, I know we wouldn't have to have a ramp because it's on.
No,
flat
it would be,
But no,
this has to be level.
but what about like handrails and everything?
Nope. They do, if you put benches, they ask that they have backs on them, just so that way, but we would use existing, like picnic tables that we have, so. But yeah, so one thought that I had on this topic is, this park doesn't have a name. And so one thing to like generate revenue for a park is to like auction off the name. So we could have businesses donate money and do like a sealed bid auction on, the name with a minimum, like at least $500 or something. And that could help offset the cost of it too. Because right now this park, it just doesn't have a name. People call it the Red Park and that's it.
There's
So
not a name out here? I thought there was.
Arnie Schmitz. Is Arnie Schmitz name there?
I don't
I thought
know.
it
Some of the
was. I thought there
benches,
was a
Wasn't a
plaque
rock- a
or a
rock
bench
garden.
or something
In a
there.
rock.
Is it on a rock?
really?
I thought there was something out here that designated.
He's
as-
quite active,
Yeah,
maintenance guy.
but you can do like sponsored by whatever business. So that was just an idea I had. We don't have to do that, but
I got some.
I think there's already a designated.
I'll have to look
The
up.
bench over there has a bunch of different, like the donators.
You can donate, well, and I know the men's club and stuff has donated a lot of money to that park.
Much as the men's club's done for this town, they should have it named after that.
Yeah. What's your question?
He says it's not enclosed, but yet the pavilion will serve year-round public use.
Yeah, because it's not closed ever. None of our pavilions are. We don't close them down for the winter.
I wonder if it's enclosed, you've got walls on it.
No, it's just an open pavilion.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah, we don't close it down for winter. Like anybody can use it in the winter. And
But
Not that they'd want to, but they could.
Well, that's my question, I guess. I don't, I tell, this might be nitpicking, but I guess, one of the project details
Mhm.
shows partisan, political and election related activities. I hope we don't get involved in that, cause
No,
there's enough division, we don't need that, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Yes.
Politics. and-
I'm pretty sure that's saying that you cannot
It doesn't.
do it in this part. There's another page. You're missing a page here.
No, that's 12, goes from 12,
Well,
12, this is the, then this is the rest of it.
let's see this.
Goes with 12 right down here. Project details. Now, listen,
We're gonna have a liberal rally over there.
well,
No, So this is saying you can't use it for any of these things. You
Where does it
can't
say that?
acquire property, you can't promote a for-profit entity, it can't be political or election related activities. This is all the stuff that this grant cannot pay for. It can't pay for any of those things. I don't know why it doesn't say it here, but that's it.
Okay, that's my question,
No,
Okay. Alright.
so I can pull the actual application up, but those are all the things you can't use it. You can't acquire property, you can't acquire land, you can't, do anything with elections. None
I
of
have
that stuff.
trouble reading into things that's not on there.
Yes,
Okay.
it may have just been cut off at the top or something, but I'll have to look.
Okay.
Motion to approve you, applying for to get a grant or a.
It's a grant, community challenge grant program.
Second.
Excuse me, roll call vote. We'll do Enoch.
Aye.
Fine,
Aye.
Vermont, and Stag.
Aye.
All right. I think that covers it.
Yes.
Okay,
Motion we.
a motion to adjourn.
Yes, second, third, fourth.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 7:52 and it was adjourned.
You wanted to wait till next week to do this, Mike.
What's that?
Took an hour and 20 minutes.